This is the 12th lesson of the Keys for Kids Ministries February series, Rebecca's Kitten. "You're okay, Puff. I'm right here. Quiet down," said Rebecca soothingly. She reached down and lovingly patted the lid of the cat carrier that was on the floor of the car. Horrible wails and yowls were coming from inside the carrier. "Why is Puff crying so much, Mom?" Rebecca asked. "The vet didn't hurt him." "I think Puff is probably scared about being in the car and in the carrier all by himself," said Mom. "But he's not really by himself. We're right here," said Rebecca. "I keep talking to him all the time." "Maybe he can't hear you over all his yowling," said Mom. "Maybe not," agreed Rebecca. "Are you scared, Puff?" she asked. "I know how you feel. I remember how scared I was last summer when I went to camp for the first time." Rebecca continued to talk quietly to the kitten. "I cried myself to sleep the first night. I felt so scared and alone. My counselor and the other girls were there, but I didn't know them yet. But somebody I did know was with me, and I'm right here with you too, Puff." Mom glanced over at Rebecca and smiled. "Who else was with you, honey?" she asked. Rebecca smiled too. "Jesus was," she said. "I knew the Bible verse where he says, 'I am with you always.' I'm sure he wanted to tell me, but I guess I couldn't hear him over my crying. When my counselor talked with me the next morning, she reminded me that God was there with me all the time. And I had to keep reminding myself of that too. After that, I had a lot of fun at camp." "That was a great lesson for you to learn," said Mom as she pulled the car into the driveway and parked. "Always remembering that God will never leave you alone will help you throughout your life." Rebecca took the carrier into the house. She gently lifted the tiny kitten out and gave him a hug. "See, Puff, you're okay," she said, smoothing his soft fur. "I was with you, watching out for you the whole time. I wouldn't ever leave you all alone." When you get scared, do you remember that the Lord promises to be with you? Or does your crying drown out thoughts of him? It's okay to cry sometimes. God understands. But the Bible says he is always with his children. He wants to comfort you, and he promises to always watch over you. He is with you right now. When you're afraid, keep reminding yourself of that. I can totally relate to this lesson. Sometimes if I'm going through difficult times, it's hard for me to realize that God is with me because I am so preoccupied with lots of different thoughts and feelings. But if I take time to relax and collect myself, I can better realize the truth and that God hasn't left me to begin with. And God is certainly with his children. Isaiah 41:10 says, "Fear not, for I am with you. Be not dismayed, for I am your God." You can also read Psalm 121, 1-8. Thank you very much for listening to this lesson, and please share it in the name of God.